here, Sheila. I can have my doors open, my window open, and I just...
I'm just adjusting my camera here. Excuse me. And I'm going to come down a little bit and see. I'm trying my camera backwards because it seems like it gives me more depth. So I will not see comments on my phone, but I have a second device. And I think that's perfect. Well, welcome, welcome. This is Colleen Tepper from A Couple of Tra-La-Las, and I am doing my segment on Craft Round the Clock. So welcome in. I'm glad to see everyone. Please say hello as you come on in. And we'll get started. I wasn't ready today. I got my husband out of the hospital after his heart valve replacement, and it's just been up and down and stressful around here, more so in my head than anything else. But I'm gonna do something simple, so I didn't have a lot of time to plan and stuff. So we're gonna get to it here. Hi Tracy, how are you? So I'm gonna share myself onto my own page here. And I'm gonna share myself into my own little group that I have. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get started. And I am recovering from my cataract surgery. My eyesight is 20/20 in the left eye that they did first, and it's 20/25 in my right eye a day after surgery. So my prescription glasses are too strong, but I still need something to read a little bit. So I have to take them off so I can see far away. Hi Barb, how you doing? But I can see up close. So I'm going to get going here. What I did is I have one of those rustic frames, and I hammered it together, and I painted it. And I painted this goes on the back of here after we're all done. But I'm going to do a bee. I know people might be sick of bees, but it's what I had planned. And I drew a little bee, but I'm going to do a little different here. So I'm going to make the background with some beehive background, and I'm going to use 24 karat extreme sheen and sapphire extreme sheen. The gold you'll be able to see a little bit better. The sapphire you'll just be able to see the glittery. Oops. We got to shake that up a little better. We'll start out with this. I'm going to set it upside down for a little bit. We'll start out with the gold. And I have my trusty hive stencil from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to set that on here. And I'll show you the bee that I drew. I drew kind of a fat bee. So the bee is a little chubby bee. And I drew him too big for this little piece of paper with his legs and stuff. So I decided I'm still going to use the bee body. I thought he was pretty cute. But I'm going to drill some holes in here and put string in and have his legs hang over the edge of the so that's what we have there, edge of the frame. this is what it looks like. I don't have my camera facing me. I turned it away. I tried that this weekend or on Sunday, and it gives you a much further away view so that you can see more of what I'm doing. So I decided to stick with that. And I think we're going to put some of this on the frame too. And I'll use the gold first. And I'm just going to rub a little here. I have quite a bit planned for today, and I think that I overdid myself. I usually come, I've been trying to do Mondays, but I decided with that hospital stay and stuff that Monday was not my best day to do. So I tried Thursday, and with getting my husband home and stuff, I've been a nervous twit. I probably shouldn't. I use too much paint on there, but we can fix that. You can see here where it's kind of globbed together. We'll fix that when we put the blue on. I'll go over that with the blue, and we'll try and hide that a little bit. I didn't clean my brush off well enough, my stencil brush. So, but we'll see how we can fix it, okay? We'll see if it's possible. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to come back to this. And I did base coat this. And I think it's the navy color in Folk Art chalk paint. Our Michaels had all their chalk paint on clearance for $3. And I had got in on that, and I just put it in different bottles so I could squirt it out, and I should have wrote the names on it, and I didn't. I should have, you know, because I'm not real familiar with Folk Art chalk paint. I'm more familiar with the Walmart brand. Okay, that's good enough. So I'll show you what that looks like. And it just kind of shines. I don't know how that is looking. My second device is a little bit behind what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit. That's how I'm going to try and fix that. I'm not going to come right on there. And another thing that could have caused it is the stencil does not lay flat. It didn't fix it too much, but we can make that where the bow goes. But the stencil does not lay flat on there's a ridge on here. So we're just going to go in between the ones that are on here. I'm not going to go over them because of how it's not laying nicely. And when you stencil, you only need a little bit of paint. You don't need very much. But here's the frame now. And please excuse my hair and no makeup. I can't wear makeup yet. Maybe next week I can start putting some stuff on my face. And just my whole persona today is kind of... It's been a stressful week. Lori. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Sheila. How are you? Hi, Amy. How are you, Amy? And then I have Totally Together Crafting by Brenda. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Hi, Robin. And hello, Tammy. Okay, so we do have some people, and I'm thank you for joining me today. I am a hot mess. I'm sorry. Life doesn't always make it easy, huh? But I'm hanging in there. Okay, so here is the little bee that I drew. And he's kind of crooked on there because I was going to have him flying, but I did his legs and stuff. And I'm going to put him on there straight. And I'll drill holes here after I'm done painting it and I took out this string for his legs. I didn't have just black, but I have black and white. I think that'll work. And then I had some buttons. I'm going to put his feet are going to be buttons. That's how I'll tie him on there. So I'm going to use white on this one because of the dark background color of the carbon. Not carbon. Okay, he got disconnected. That's good. I've been having problems getting calls, so the setting I had to change a bunch of settings on my phone because even when I wasn't live, it still went to my phone would go right to voicemail. So they had me change a bunch of things on my phone. And if I get a call right now when I'm live, I can deal with that because I need my phone. I need to get my calls. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of recovery stuff, but and besides, I was missing some calls from my friends. And I'm not going to do the arms or anything. I can just paint those in, but I kind of want to do the stripes because I kind of messed those up. Okay, so that's what he's like, and I'm gonna paint him as quickly as I can so we can get this done here today. And I'm gonna set this over there. Oh, and I got some glasses too. I'm gonna put some glasses on them maybe. I didn't really get out my brushes either, did I? Clean, what is going on with you today? I don't have any flats out. This is big enough. And I'm going to start out with some banana cream, DecoArt banana cream. And that color covers really nice. So I haven't used this brush before. It's a Hobby Lobby brush. It's brand new. I must have bought it when they were on sale, and it's a Filbert. So, but that's okay. It's hot here today. It's in the 80s. And I did turn on our air. I had that group of cats from next door. I had my door open, and it was my patio door upstairs. So they had to come all the way up the deck stairs and I've seen 5 of them out there. Our neighbors let their cats outside. We don't let our cat out. Our cat stays in the house. And the other night I heard a ruckus up here. I don't know if I told you this story or not, but I came up, it was a cat. He was kind of meowing and running around and stuff, so I didn't know what was going on. And I seen that I left the patio door open, and I've been opening the patio door for him every day so he can kind of see outside, and because he wants to see outside. He lays in the window. We have a bow window with a window seat in it, and he lays in that and watches outside a lot. So I figured if the screen was there, he's never tried to escape or anything. He's pretty good about it, but he does like to see outside. Well, I seen I left the patio door open, so I closed it, and he calmed down and stuff, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, the next morning I got up and I was going to open the screen door for him so he could enjoy the outside again. And the screen was all ripped up. So I'm thinking those cats were up on the deck, and, you know, they tried getting into the house, and either to get after my cat or to do something. I don't know what they were thinking, you know. I don't know. But so now I can't open that door, so that's why I turned on the air. I cannot open that door at all. I have to keep it closed because they ripped a hole in it big enough to fit through. I'm surprised they didn't get through. I must have got up here just in time. And my husband said, I told him I'm going to go buy some screen. Can you re-screen the door? And he said yes. So I went to Menards, and he told me to get steel screen this time because the screen that was in there was like softer fiberglass. That's why they were able to rip it so easy. So Menards does not carry steel screen, but they can order it for you. Well, they can't get it in till the end of June. So I looked on Amazon, and Amazon had it, and it was only $3 more for the Amazon order, and they got it here the next day. But it was still my husband had a surgery scheduled, so he didn't get to change it. We gotta wait a little bit. Maybe this weekend he can do something light, like re-screening a patio door screen. We'll see how he's feeling. But he feels pretty good. He's did his exercise on the treadmill this morning, and he's doing pretty good. So I'm more of a nervous wreck than he is about the whole thing. My brother must have called him. I told my brother, he's been calling me every day. I said, why don't you call him and talk to him and see how he's doing? So maybe he decided to call my husband. I want to get a round brush for the wings because I can control that. I really sanded this a lot to make the surface smooth, so it is going on pretty slick. Oh no, I can't find a round brush. So I'm going to just do white on the wings, but I think this might be too watery because I have it on my wet palette and it just soaked up the... Well, why I think I'm so nervous too is when the doctor came out and talked to us after the surgery, he said, you know, he was done, he was doing good and stuff, and then he kind of looked down at the ground and said, but we had a glitch. And I'm like, okay. And he said that when they first put the new valve in, it was like close to the valve is close to the electronic bundle in by your heart, and they put it in and it didn't seal correctly or something. I don't know what it was, what happened, and it didn't work at first. It kept skipping. So they, did a few other things, and then it corrected itself, he said, and started to work correctly. So that is what I just keep thinking about. I can't get that out of my mind. He should have never told me that. I'm too big of a worrywart. So he seems to be doing pretty good, though. And the other doctor that takes care of him too, it's a woman, and she said that, that happens like 50% of the time. I just think because he was younger, that the doctor had hopes that everything would just go really well. Because they said that usually for what he had, they don't usually do it till they're in their 70s. And he's close to 70. He's 67, but hi, Dion. How are you? Hi, Sheila. Hi, Mary. Hello, Francis. Okay, we're going to dry this a little bit here for a minute. I decided I'd do a chubby bee today instead of the regular little skinny ones I've been doing. And I am going to have to do another coat of white, but I'm going to just keep with the thin stuff because I'm already there. There's going to be a big sale on the site tomorrow. I am not selling in the sale, but there are other girls from the group that are participating in the market day. So if you get a chance, you should try and watch some of them. They're fun. And there's just a little form you need to fill out to buy anything in the marketplace, and it's the information you put in there is kept private and stuff. So we're gonna take now I'm gonna take a little bit brighter of a yellow, and I'm going to put that on this yellow just to make it, I want to make him a little bit brighter. It's cadmium yellow, and why I do it the way I do is because I'd have to put 50 coats of that on for it. There's my round brushes. I'd have to put so many coats on this to cover it because this is transparent. And I just do this to brighten them up a little bit. I know bees probably are not this color, but we've had a few little fat ones out in the flower garden this year, so they have to be, I'm thinking those are honeybees. So maybe there's a nest by my house. I haven't seen them for a while. We get lots of wasps, but not a lot of honeybees, but we had some this year, so that's good. And I've gotten a different kind of hummingbird feeder too that the bees can't get into at all. And it seems to be working. I am not getting bees around the feeder right now. There are some ants still, but they can't get at it either. They've been just kind of leaving it alone too. Okay. So let's do the antennas. And I'm just going to make them come out from each side. And there's a circle there. And there's a circle there. Too much water on my brush. Another thing that happened is somehow on our furnace, when we have the air running, it has a tube that goes to a basket that's in the ground, and it has a pump in it. We have a sump pump around the house. We have drain tile and stuff. We don't have a problem with water, but we just automatically put it in. Well, that hose got a hole in it, so the water from the air conditioner, because it takes the humidity out of the air, was leaking on the basement floor. So we unhooked that, and we just put a bucket underneath the spigot that came out of there. Well, when I went down there this morning, that thing was full up to the top. I'm like, my husband tells me, just pick it up and bring it over to the basket and pour it in there. You don't have to carry it up the stairs or anything. And it'll be just fine, you know. That thing was so heavy. I told him I'm going to Menards and getting something to a new thing to go over there. I mean, we didn't have time to put it in before he had his surgery, and I told him I'm going to get a new thing, but I'm going to buy the hard PVC pipe to connect to it and bring that over there. And so I got to measure that and have them figure out what I need when I go over there. And I should be able to hook that up on, if I can't, that'll be another of his light duty fixes he can do. And I'm just going to watch that bucket so it doesn't get full again. I'm going to check it every day. I mean, it's been over a week since we looked at it. So I'm just going to do it every day, and as soon as it gets some in there, I'll be able to carry that. But that thing was heavy. Okay, I'm going to take some brown paint, and I am going to shade him a little bit around his head. And I'll shade him on his stripe here to tone that down a little bit and give it a little dimension. Okay, And then I'm going to dry that because I'm going to give them some cheeks. And then, what time is it? 27. I still got time. Okay. And then I'm going to give them some cheeks. And where is my dry brushes? There they are. And I'm going to give them pink cheeks. So a dry brush is just, there's all different kinds. It's kind of like a stencil brush. This one that I have is softer, softer bristles than a stencil brush, and I do like this. But the one thing about these is they're like a fine artist brush more, so the bristles wear off because they're a natural bristle brush, and the bristles wear off, and they're kind of expensive. So I don't use them that often. I don't use them on a lot of my dry brushing, but I do use them on cheeks because I want to get a nicer cheek than, you know, have all the lines show and stuff. I'm not real good at dry brushing some of the stuff. And let's take some white. That brush feels a little crusty, so I must not have cleaned it very good. No, it has some yellow in it, but that's okay. I must not have washed it at all. It's been a rough day. Okay. I'm just cleaning it a little bit because you can't use water on the dry brushing. And I'm going to do just a little bit of dry brushing here in white so that kind of brings that forward so he looks round. I want to make sure I didn't get any black. And I'm just going to do it around his face too. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glasses on him. And I got these stencils and I took them out. So I have round stencils. I have round stencils for glasses. I have these kind. And then I have some little ones. So do we want the bee to have big glasses on? If we have big glasses, those are too small. Those are too big. So they'd have to be this size. Do you think that would look okay? Because I want to put the glasses on before I put the hi Shelly. I want to put the glasses on before I do his eyes. So I'm just going to use these round ones, and we're going to make him a girl. She's going to be a girl. So we're going to do pink glasses. And we'll just use bubblegum pink. It's a bright pink, but it is not like fuchsia. We'll do that. And if we don't finish, I'll save this and finish this on the next live, because all we have to do is the legs and stuff. I'm live Monday again, so this is an Essential Stencil brush. They sponsored an event we were in, and they gave us brushes and some stencils and a bunch of stuff. They were very generous. So I've been trying to use their brushes too. Okay, so we'll set this over here, and I'm gonna take a little brush, this one, and I'm gonna fill in the, you know, the breaks in the stencil so that it don't look like a stencil. And then I can put his eyes in there. I don't know where his eyes go. Her eyes. She is now a girl. I'm just doing black eyes. I think those are close enough to the same size. And we'll do some eyelashes on her. A lot of paint. Okay, now we'll do this one. I'm running out of paint. Sorry about that. And then we'll do a couple here. And then we'll do some bottom lashes. I got my dinner in the oven. We're having chicken breasts. And as soon as I'm done, I've got to go down and finish the dinner, making the dinner. I can't, 35, I got 10 minutes. So I'm gonna give him a mouth. I'm gonna put that stencil brush in the water for just a minute. I don't want it to dry out on there because I don't want to ruin the brush. Okay, and I think she probably needs a little nose because something's got to hold them glasses up. And I just did it a darker pink. Okay, and we'll add the details to the eyes and stuff later. We can do that later. We want to make sure that they're nice and dry. And I'm going to drill the holes for the legs. So the legs, let me check something. Okay, so there's plenty of room. So I'm going to drill the holes for the legs right here. Okay. All right. That looks good. Okay, I'm gonna do the eyes. And I'm just doing simple eyes. I'm not going to take a lot of time on them, but I am going to shade the nose, and then we'll work on getting the strings brought through there so you can see what that looks like. And this is just I'm just doing it with a dark maroon to shade it, her nose. And I just want to shade underneath the glasses a little bit. I had too much paint on there for that. Okay, we'll shade those. We'll highlight the top of the glasses. Again, too much paint. I'm working with a skinny little thing here. And we'll shade the top of the nose. It looks like I got some of the nose on the glasses, so we want to try and take that out. We don't want the nose to go like that. Okay, so here's what we got so far, and I'm gonna take a liner brush again, and I'm gonna put the lines in his wings, and then we'll thread the fabric through. He needs to have these in his wings. I won't be really elaborate on it. I'll just give him some just basic ones, okay? I don't have that much time left. That's why and then I'll probably need to do more stuff to him to fix him up more. I got some paint on there because I usually shade around the subject, so I'll do that later. But I want you to get the drift of what I mean by his legs. So I'm sorry I'm not looking at comments that much. But how I'm going to do this is I'm going to pull each one through so it'll be one string, so we won't have to worry about gluing it in the back. They'll already be attached. We'll just have to worry about tying them onto the button. And I think we can do that. I saw my sister Kathy stop on. And we'll do big feet. We'll give him some big feet. And I still need to do his arms. We'll just do these. They're not exactly the same, but they'll work. I still need to do his arms and give him a flower. I need to highlight his antennae. And I'm going to keep these longer for now. I can always make them shorter. I just want to see how they look on the frame. Okay, we'll make them the same, about the same length. And they might be long enough. And I will put a little dab of glue on those when I'm done. And I'll trim them. Okay. So this is what he's going to look like. Oh. And he'll have some more details on him. What I can do, I'm sorry, I'm so close. What I can do on Monday, I'll finish him up on Monday. And then I'll, it's kind of hard for me to find where the camera is correctly, but I'll finish them up on Monday. We'll maybe put a bow up there. We can, put, the honeycomb that I make in the mold. I can show you how to do that. I think I've already done it, but we'll put that in the middle of the bow and stuff. And then I'll have something else started too. So we'll finish this up on Monday. I'll set it aside and we'll finish him up or finish her up with her pink glasses. But I appreciate you joining me today. Please stay tuned for the next crafter. If you're in Craft Around the Clock, all you have to do is refresh your page and the next person will be up. Thank you, Tracy. Thanks to all you ladies that came in today to keep me company. I do appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Barb. I thought he was kind of cute too. Well, she's cute. You know, it seems like always the women get a little bit chunky. So, but thank you very much. Take care, everyone, and we'll hope to see you soon. I'll be back on Monday. Thank you. Bye-bye now.